And welcome to the Intuitive Entrepreneur Show, where we bring enlightened entrepreneurs, coaches, and influencers together to discuss cutting-edge topics for the world of relationships, culture, business, and spirituality. Here's your host, Max Antonetta Jones.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Carol's Courage to Confidence segment of the Intuitive Entrepreneur Show. Now, if you've been following me at all on Wednesdays, you know what we say at the beginning. If you have a little bit of courage, and I know you do, and you hire a good coach like me, we are going to very quickly get you the results that you're looking for. We're going to be talking about results today, and you want to stay to the end because May is my dad's birthday. Today, my dad turned 92, so my coach says I get to give an offer. This is a gift I'm going to be giving, and you're going to want to stay to the end to find out. Yeah, man, if you're watching live, put it in the comments, right? I'm going to click over here to the comments and let me know what you think about my dad being 92. It's amazing, right? I think I got my dad's constitution as well. He has a little bit of glaucoma problems, a little bit of cataract problems, and a little bit of blood pressure. Not a lot. Dude is healthy as a horse otherwise. Keeps his weight down. All his life, he ate whatever you put in front of him, right? Just a good old boy. He's in Memphis, Tennessee, about a mile from my older brother and his wife. Yep. Now, you know, I'm also your weather girl. I love the weather. And have we been having some freaking amazing weather? I'm currently in Boca Raton, Florida, just south of me. And I drove through it to get here 2 weeks ago. 25 inches of rain, floods everywhere. I was at a social impact breakfast this morning. It used to be called a nonprofit breakfast, social impact. And one of the gentlemen there, Robin, I'm like, dude, how you doing? He said, 2 feet up the wall. Everything's been gutted. Kitchen's gone. Drywall's gone. Both cars were totaled because of the flooding. It's like, oh my goodness. And then just this weekend, just north of me, tornadoes. F3 tornadoes. Not common in South Florida with big old balls of hail. But we won't have a talk about global warming today. Oh, I'm excited to be here with you. You know, we started on the first Wednesdays of the month. It's me and you. We get to spend time together. And I love to have dialogues. If anybody's watched me over on my personal page on Mondays at 12 noon, where I do hold Carol's Courage to Confidence Corner, not just a segment of the show, come join me over there. Let's connect. I have a great group of people that show up. They're all getting to know each other because they show up so often. We all talk in the chat and we have a dialogue as opposed to you just listening to me give a monologue. I love connection and I love people. So May for me is a month of give back. I just got off the phone with a past client, very successful client of mine back in 2018. We doubled the income in her business in 6 months. She is still doing well and ecstatic. She's known as the dog mystic. Excuse me. Sometimes I drink this Dunkin' Donuts coffee and it gives me phlegm. I think I have an allergy to it. But I'm not going to quit drinking it till the bag is gone. Just learned my lesson right before I go live. So she's the dog mystic. Amazing, amazing things. Here's a quick story about her. I had an office back in 2018 and she came to see me the first time and she was on time. And then she was a little bit late. And then by the fourth time, it was ridiculous, right? So she came in. I'm known as the give you a hug, shake your hand girl. I love connecting with people. So I gave her a big hug. She sat down in the chair and I said, get out your pen and paper. We can't miss this coaching opportunity. Now, we don't typically jump in like that, but it was a huge opportunity for growth. How many of you, put it in the chat for me, would have said, why are you always late? Think about it. Just in the framing of those words, you can hear the judgment. It's why I teach and train on empowering questions, because they allow you to come from curiosity. They allow you to be neutral and take the judgment and the emotion out of the conversation. So the first thing I had to write down is how I do anything is how I do everything. I get to remind myself of that sometimes too, because we don't often want to look at that. We want to compartmentalize, right? Oh, I do this pretty good, or I'm consistent over here. But if we were really truly self-aware, how we do anything is how we do everything. So she wrote it down. I said, the next thing I want you to write down is, where else in my life am I not showing up for me? She said, what? I said, write it down. Where else in your life are you not showing up for you? She said, is that my homework for the week, Carol? I said, honey, that's your homework ad nauseum. I want it on your dashboard. I want it on your refrigerator. I want it in the shower. I want you to have it in front of you when you're out walking the dogs. I want you to set the intention and say this out loud 6 to 8 times a day and go right back to what you're doing. Because see, there's several caveats, but 2 of the caveats about asking empowering questions is that you cannot be attached to the outcome, and your job is not to figure it out, right? And I said to her, after I repeated the question for the 3rd time, where else in your life are you not showing up for you? I said, look, you pay me in advance for my time. I'm not giving you any money back, and I'm not going to give you extra time because I have a schedule of clients that I keep. So we proceeded on to work. It was a 6-month private one-on-one coaching program, and it was a few weeks down the road. All of a sudden, her eyes opened up and she goes, oh my gosh. I said, what? She goes, that's another area where I'm not showing up for me. And I was like, yes. You see, now she was becoming aware. It's only when we become aware of habits and patterns that don't serve us can we then begin to make the effective changes. We went on to work for the rest of the 6-month program, and she will tell you, put it in writing, double the income in her business. Empowering questions will open the door to limitless possibilities and opportunities. You can bring me any challenge. And you know why? Because I'm known as the Queen of Reframe, right? Queen of Reframe. I can reframe any challenge you bring me, give you a brand new perspective on it, and give you some empowering questions and some steps to take around it to turn it around and get the answers and the results that you really want. Who wouldn't like that? Put a yes in the chat, right? I'm telling you, if I was over on my Facebook page, people would be talking to me. I'm going to read from this book in a minute as well, Until Today by Iyanla Vanzant. It's something that my tribe loves for me to read and talk about and weave it into business and weave it into personal training. I love doing that. The offer I'm going to give up at the end, when I say stay tuned, I have a client who took that offer, and the following month, she grew her revenue 33%. She's given me a written and a video testimonial. How many of you would like to grow your revenue 33% in 1 month? Right? I'm not talking a year down the road. And let's talk a little bit about mindset. I have so much to share with you today. And no, I don't have a script. But mindset is a key piece of work that I do with my clients. And often, like I said, we're unaware. My next book, you're going to want to get it. I don't have a date yet. It's going to be called You Can't Read the Label When You're Inside of a Jar, and we're all in a jar. That's why we all get to have a good coach. We can't see our own stuff. I'm here to tell you right now, don't you dare hire a coach who doesn't have a coach. We can't see our own stuff. You see, folks, the answers that you're looking for are right outside of your jar. They're outside of your awareness, and empowering questions will draw them into your awareness. How many of you have ever had like an Oprah aha moment? Like, oh my God, I never thought about that before. Something came into your awareness because you were ready for it. So you don't ask these questions and sit down and stew about them, trying to figure out the answer. If you had the answer, it'd already be inside your jar, right? It'd be in the jar. It's not a negative that you're in your jar. I'm in my jar. Everybody's in a jar, right? We can't see our own stuff. And no man is an island. Nobody does it alone. Even Oprah Winfrey had 4 coaches at one time. She had 4 at one time. When somebody asked her, why do you have 4 coaches? She said, because nobody's an expert in all 4 quadrants of my life. And I want to know that I'm living my life at the highest level across the board. Powerful, right? I said that one time in a live workshop that I was giving. And I said, so by the way, if you're looking for dating advice, don't come to me. I'm going to stay in my lane. I am not the dating coach. You go to Max for that, right? She stays in her lane. I'll stay in my lane. We get to be narrow. If you're a coach out there, and I know Max has a ton of coaches in her network, every coach gets to have a coach. The gentleman that I got my second coaching certification from, his motto was, let's get the whole world coached. And I often think of that. I think if everybody truly stopped and asked empowering questions every day on a regular basis, every day, not just about other things or things outside of you or things you're trying to draw into you, you get to ask empowering questions about yourself. Stephen Covey, who's read his book, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, he says, seek first to understand and then be understood. But empowering questions are not about you trying to get somebody else to understand you. It's about you understanding you. I'll give you a couple. So what if every time you walk into your office to go to work, whether that's just stepping into another room in your house, whether you actually go to an office, you go to a client's, wherever maybe you go to the Starbucks coffee shop and work. What if every time you did that and you sat down and all of a sudden you wanted to scroll on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, or you wanted to play Wordle, and you had this question in front of you: how would the person I want to become do the thing I'm about to do right now? What if you could check yourself like that on a regular basis? Because you obviously got into business to have a thriving business. So is the person that's going to lead a thriving business spending 3-4 hours a day scrolling? I noticed that I don't do it a lot during the day, but I do it early in the morning. So 10 days ago, let me think. Well, the first time I started was three weeks ago. And then I realized I wasn't doing it the way I had been directed to do it. So I started over. And then I missed a weekend day and I started over again. So 21 days, I'm reading instead of doing Wordle in the morning. My brain loves crossword puzzles and word games. Instead of doing Wordle in the morning, doesn't matter what time I wake up. Sometimes I wake up at 2:45 with my brain going, right? 2:45, brain going. Now I am reading the chapter in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich book on imagination, right? We get to expand our imagination. We get to expand our dreams so that we stop settling for, oh, I have enough. I heard another coach, been in business a long time, business coach, has an 8-figure, going up to 9-figure business. And she says, I've coached thousands of people. And she has. She goes, I get really nervous when they start making $300,000 a year. She said, $300,000, that's good money, right? She said, but what I've seen almost invariably, if they don't stay working with a coach, they get complacent. They get comfortable at 300,000 and they stay at 300,000 if they're really good. If they don't have a coach, a lot of them drop lower. They drop lower than 300,000 because they're not dreaming. We get satisfied. I have not been known to say in the past that I have forgotten how to dream, right? Forgotten how to dream. So focused on helping other people that I wasn't doing a good job of taking care of me. This chapter in this book is fascinating. I actually read an extra chapter today, the chapter on faith. If you haven't read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, and I haven't read it all the way through, I'm on my way, and I've had the book for a little while. I encourage you to get it. He tells an amazing, amazing story about how Coca-Cola got started. It got started with an idea, and how through the right processes, we can transmute ideas into money. But you see, folks, it can't be about the money. What do you really want out of life? Do you know? Clarity is power. And I help my clients get very, very clear on who they were created to be so they can step into that and let go of that story that's keeping them in the past. One of my past clients hired me, and a piece of clarity, the work we do at the very beginning, is getting clear on who you were created to be. And oftentimes they can't come up with their own powerful statements. And so I offer some up. One of the ones I gave her was, I'm a powerful CEO of a fast-growing law firm. She looked at me like I'd lost my mind. She says, my law firm isn't growing. Why the hell you think I hired you? She couldn't see it, folks. Her imagination wasn't big enough. She had hit her ceiling. And I said, stick with me. We crafted 10 empowering statements for her of who she was meant to be so she could step into it. And she said them out loud, morning and night, first thing before she got on her phone, last thing before she went to bed. And she was in my 6-month private program as well. And I don't remember if it was 9 weeks in, 12 weeks in. All of a sudden, one day she walks in my office. Now, I'm not short. I'm almost 5'8", but she's taller than me without heels on, and she had heels on. And she walks in the door and she goes, I'm a powerful CEO of a fast-growing law firm. And I thought, yes, she owns it now. She embodies it now. Her testimonial on my website will tell you that she got more clients in working with me in 6 months than she had in the first 4 years of her law practice. Part of that was what? Claiming that she had a fast-growing law firm. She's a powerful CEO of a fast-growing law firm. There's a lot of other different tools I do and work with my clients. I'm just giving you a little touch here and there. Little touch. But it's powerful. And I ask my clients empowering questions, like the one I gave you at the very beginning. If I'd said to her, why are you always late? She might have never had all those breakthroughs that she had. She might not have doubled the income in her business. One of the reasons I say we all get to have a coach, because we can't see our own stuff, was back in 2019. I originally called myself a leadership coach. Leadership coach. Fast forward to, middle of 2019, my clients started introducing me as, you got to meet Carol, my amazing business coach. And I said, I'm not a business coach. I'm a leadership coach. So I spent a lot of money. I went out to a high-end mastermind in Beverly Hills. Never been to Beverly Hills, right? With a coach in my lane, running a $6 million business. She'd been in business 4 or 5 times longer than me. And I came back and I said to a lady that's on my team who helps me craft my workshops and my talks, I said, Lori, I don't get it. Either I don't know how to explain myself or Suzanne just doesn't get me. She said, how come? I said, because Suzanne says I'm a business coach, right? Here's the challenge that I got to work on back then, is that I had never once said out loud that many of my clients were doubling and tripling the income in their business. Now think about it. What would compel me to keep that a secret? I was having an internal challenge, subconscious, to start until my coach brought it to my awareness. I think I had a fear that if I said it out loud, then I had to make sure that every single client did it. That was too much pressure. She said, no, Carol, not all of them are going to do the work. And she's right. I have amazing client success stories. I have some sad stories of clients who some who walk away because they don't want to do the work. What are you willing to do? Who are you willing to be? That's where we start in servant leadership. Who are you willing to be in order to do what you get to do to have what you really say that you want? We cannot come as leaders with the attitude of, how much can I have and what do I got to do to get it? Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Are you willing to invest in you? It's amazing. I've seen people, they'll invest in other people and not in themselves. What's up with that? Oh yeah, if you haven't seen this coffee cup, this is for when I get older and I get out of bed and I don't remember my name. All I got to do is make a cup of coffee. Then I know who I am, right? I know who I am. Do you know who you were created to be? It's actually biblical, right? Bible says, call things that aren't as though they are. You must believe and then you see. But so often we live in fear and we allow fear to make our decisions for us. Well, what if I invest in that coach and I don't get the results that I want? Are you willing to do the work? I had one client, she was so afraid, and I knew I could help her. And we set out what her goals were. 1 month, 6 month, 1 year, 5-year goals. She was in my 6-month program. And she looked at me and she said, but what if I don't achieve that? I said, if you can prove to me that you're doing the work And I knew that she could, right? I had an office back then. So we met in person. I saw the work that she was doing. I said, if you haven't reached that goal working with me in 6 months, I'll coach you till you do. She goes, what? I said, it probably ain't going to take another month or two. That was my commitment to her. That's the cool thing about owning your own business, right? You're not stuck following somebody else's rules. So everything I do is customized. Everything I do is customized. Now I have certain tools that I use, same tools, right? One of the most powerful of all empowering questions is what else is possible? What else is possible? Open the door to opportunity. I had a member of a board of directors come into my office back in 2018 and said, oh, I'm going to send you this young kid. He's a creative genius, but we're going to have to kick him off of his own company. He can't be CEO anymore. So I asked what was going on, and he told me, and I said, well, he can come through. I can take him through my process to see if he's an ideal fit for my program, and vice versa. I can't make him sign up. Young kid comes in. Take him through the program, not really a program, the process that I do to see if we're a good fit to work together. And by the way, when I take people through a process, if I've determined that we're not a good fit, I make sure that you get some free resources, and I do everything I can to refer you to the coach that's right for you. Who wouldn't like that, right? Get referred to somebody who would be a perfect fit for you. So it comes through, take him through my process, and he's like, yeah, I can't afford that investment. Now think about it. This young kid had created the world's first all organic pomade for men's hair. This board member already had this young kid meetings established with Macy's, Sephora, Lord and Taylor, Saks Fifth Avenue. The kid couldn't even walk across the threshold to go to the meeting. He was so scared. He was afraid to sell, afraid to let people, so many things that I could help him with. I said, is that the question? I said, can you afford not to invest in you? They're going to take you off your own company. He left. Now, there used to be a cafe at the front end of the hallway of where my office was. And so I would see this young man on occasion. I always give him a big hug. And I'd say, Diego, what else is possible today? And he'd come back with, I can't ask my parents for money. Well, gosh, I didn't say anything about parents. Okay. I'd see him again. What else is possible today? I don't have a credit card. I want you to think about where his mind was going. He was so stuck in his jar, nothing could get in. 3 or 4 months passed. This same board member came to me and said, will you talk to him one more time? I said, no, my time is valuable. I've given him enough of my time. He said, come on, do me a favor. So on a Monday night, I pick up the phone and I call this young man. We have about a 30-minute conversation. 4 days later, I'm at home, sitting in my easy chair, having a cocktail, and my phone blows up with texts from this kid and emails telling me, you tell whoever's trying to take me off of my company, blah, 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 blah. I thought, oh my gosh, what has happened in the last 72 hours? I want an appointment with you next week, he said. So I gave him a time and he comes in. You know, I'm a hugger, gave him a hug. He sat down. I said, wait, before we get started, I get to know how you're going to pay me. And he reaches down and pats his pocket. He says, cash. Can I pay you cash twice a month? I said, sure, I love cash. Don't we all love cash? Don't have to pay those credit card fees, right? And I said, help me understand what one question I asked you that made the difference in our call last Monday night versus all those other times. He said, you know, Carol, every time you gave me a hug and said, well, what else is possible, Diego? I would walk away and go, oh, that woman is so woo-woo. He said it every time. I am so pragmatical. It's funny. He said, but that night you told me a story that tied everything together. So I decided I would try it. So just like you said, 8 times a day, whether I was on my way to basketball, on my way to work, taking a shower, I would set my intention for the answer I was seeking. And I would say, what else is possible today? I'm looking at my clock here. Make sure we're on time for Max. What else is possible today? He goes, and after 3 days, it dawned on me. I want you to listen to this, folks. After 3 days, it dawned on me that all I had to do was go find 2 more. Listen to the word more. I just had to go find 2 more people who wanted to learn how to speak and read and write Spanish. Folks, he was already teaching people outside of his job how to read and write Spanish. He wasted 4 months of his life not working with me because he was in his jar and he refused to ask the question. Gave him an Oprah aha moment. So this month, May, for my dad's birthday, this is giving month for me. In my program, I have more than just my one-on-one private coaching. One of the things I offer, I don't offer it all the time though, is a VIP day. The client that I told you at the beginning grew her revenue 33%. I had another client pay full price for that VIP day, right? $2,500. She was already in a $24,000 program with another coach. We had our VIP day. I had her answer a lengthy intake form so that we hit the ground running. I knew her challenges. I knew what she wanted to fix, if you will, in this VIP day. So we have our VIP day. She happened to be in Portland. When I do local VIP days, I take my client out for a 5-star dinner as well, or lunch if they prefer. We did our VIP day, and unlike other coaches, I also give you a follow-up call to make sure that you're implementing the homework and the strategies that I give you, right? She sent me the homework, and my first response back to her was, is this the language of your client, your ideal client, or is this your language? And she came back and said, oh my God, I am in this $24,000 program for almost a year, and they've never asked me that. This other program had her crafting her coaching business toward women when her ideal client were men. $24,000 to the other coach. She paid $2,500 to me. Massive results. I'm all about getting great results. This month, I'm only doing it for 5 people. There's a link. It's going to be in it's scrolling across the bottom right now, and it's going to be in the comments. So if you're watching this on replay, don't think, oh, all 5 are already gone, because you get to have an interview call with me. I don't take just anybody on. We're going to have an interview call to see if you're a right fit for this. But if you are the right fit, you're going to get a steal of a deal. You're going to get a VIP day with me. If it's over Zoom, then I'll send you a little gift in the mail. If you're here locally, I'm in South Florida. Take you out for a 5-star dinner when we're done, or a 5-star lunch, whatever day of time we try to approve. But you get 4 hours with me, not including breaks. We'll be together at least 5 hours. You're going to fill out an intake form. We're going to hit the ground running. We're not going to get caught up in stories. We don't have time for stories, right? We want success. And you're going to get that instead of for $2,500, which clients have paid $750. I'm only doing 5 of them to the first 5 people. And when you book the call and we get on the call, you got to tell me, I heard you on Max and Janetta's channel, The Intuitive Entrepreneur. I'm not offering this just up anywhere and everywhere, but I know that she's got coaches and consultants and businesses in her tribe, if you will, right here watching, that could see leaps and bounds, great results from booking that call. Click on the link, book the call, tell me you came from today, you came from Max, and let's get you unstuck, out of the muck. It's a clarity to cash call. Clarity is power, folks. We're going to get you clear on what's gotten you stuck. To get you unstuck, we're going to give you the action steps to take to get immediate results, just like my past clients. I can't wait to see who thinks that they're worth investing in themselves and makes it through that interview call to work with me. I'm excited about the opportunity. This has been Carol's Courage to Confidence segment of the Intuitive Entrepreneur Show. Come back next Wednesday and every Wednesday. I'll have guests the next few Wednesdays in May. The first Wednesday of the month, you get me. If you've got something you want me to teach on, train on, talk about, DM me, send me a message, send it through the channel here. I didn't even get time to pick up my book today and read to you, which I'll do next time. Blessings to each and every one of you. Until we meet again, be safe, get into action, even if you got to do it messy, and know that you're worth investing. I'm here for you. My name is Carol Boston, and I look forward to hearing from you.
The Intuitive Entrepreneur Show is hosted by Max and Janetta Jones and is brought to you by Life Coaching Today magazine, empowering your health, business, community, and life. This has been a production of True Awesome Life Productions, who asked, what does your true awesome life look like? Start that journey today at trueawesomelife.com. For more information on this or past episodes, go to the